may be at church. You may be at work. You may be asleep. God grant that you will be ready when he makes his personal appearance. My God, what if his appearance occurs on a Sunday morning? My prophetic word to you this morning is get ready! Get ready!
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Share, subscribe, like this video. Make sure you put your prayer request in the bottom. Hope everybody's had a pleasant day. Looks like we might actually get some rain here. It's finally going to rain. I can't even remember the last time it rained here, to be honest with you people. It's been a while. We needed it. I've actually been having to water everything again, so desperately need some water. Well, I always say that for this area because we're like other places. This is usually when fire season starts. It's around this time, so it's definitely, you want to get the rain, get this ground wet before any of that happens, because if it gets out of control here, it's kind of like in Canada, in these mountains, you're in trouble. So we desperately needed some rainfall, bad. Keep Bonnie McCoy in your prayers. Today's been a long day. That's why I didn't do a long video. The first video, she's had heart failure, she's got pneumonia, they've got her in ICU. So it's been a pretty rough day. So definitely keep her and her family. She's got a daughter and a granddaughter. Keep them in your prayers. They're having a hard time. Really hard time. If it wasn't for Bonnie, this channel would not be here, to be honest with you. She was the one with me that decided to do this channel. It was me and her. She's like, we need to get more information. We need to get this information out there. This was all her. She's like, we need to find more information because God's given us so much here, but I wonder what everybody else is getting. All this came about because Bonnie had a dream where she saw Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia destroyed, along with the United States. And I had seen something similar, not in the detail that she saw, but it confirmed mine. So I set out that day. When this happened, this was after October the 24th, which I woke her up later. She was like me. She was just asleep like everybody else, not knowing what's going on. So then we're talking about maybe November here. And then I went looking, and that's when I found Philip Barnett. And I went, oh, Lord. Then I found Brother Martin, and the list went on that led me to know what was getting ready to happen, what was coming for the world, and when the rapture was going to happen. Now there's a lot of people who's going to tell you that it's going to be an exact appointed day. I'm telling you right now, these people are telling you that. I love them. I watch them every day. But when the rapture happens, it's not an appointed day that they're looking at. It is not. It catches me off guard too. So I know that they think what they think, but it's not the way the rapture is going to go. It just is not. That's what catches everybody off guard. I mean, literally, there's a reason I have figured out when it talks about snatching everybody up, being caught up, and literally you're pulled up in a blink of an eye. There's a reason. It's a rescue. Now, like I said, people will tell me I'm wrong all they want, but I know what I saw. And it does not happen on the day that everybody's watching. It does not. I think we're in that season. I think it's any day. I think it could happen at any minute. That's where I think we are. I was watching Sister Gigi. God, I love Gigi and her calendars. If I think I'm off, I need to find out. I got to wait for Gigi to do a calendar so I can figure out, because she's got the best calendars. Her and Repo Man 64 is doing a live program right now as we speak. He's doing an excellent job over there, trying to gather everybody and get everybody ready also. And Dr. Barry, he did a program. Him and D, I love when him and D both do a program together. Dr. Bones, now me and Dr. Barry, we disagree with the specific times. That's something we disagree with. But he's one of the best teachers of my time. I will say that flat out. He is a marvelous man when it comes to teaching the Bible and making the Bible interesting for those who have never read it before. He's done a great job. Same way with Brother Aaron. He did an excellent job last night for 2 hours. Him and Brother Keith, they did an excellent program. If you have not watched it yet, it's definitely worth your time. Brother Aaron always does a great job over there. So there's a lot of stuff out there you need to be watching. But right now, there is 2 nuclear B-52 bombers in the air of the United States. They've been up and down all day. They're doing circles off the coast, off the Gulf Coast, off the East Coast. We have a Boeing E-6B Mercury. These are very advanced aircraft. We've got 2 of them. And when you have them in the air, these are what they really go to look for when something really bad is about to happen. We only own 2 of them. Our Air Force has 2. These planes cost a ton of money to fly around. You don't just put them in the air for no reason. These things cost tons of money to have them circling around up there. They're not doing it for their health, okay? So they're up there. You got the B-52 bombers up in the air. You keep them up in the air because you think you're going to get hit. And you want to have them up in the air so they don't get hit on the ground. Understand that this is just the way it works. Okay? We have air refuelers, tons of them up. That means we got a lot of fighter jets up. Now, this activity has been going on now for a week, and it's not letting up. Okay? It's not letting up. There's a lot of stuff. The Boeing WC-135R Constant Phoenix is the one I was meaning to talk about. That's the one I told you is the most advanced. And we sent one to the UK. It bugged out of here today, late. I recorded on the flight radar. It went out, it bugged out, and went over to Britain, and is headed towards up to the Arctic, where Russia, evidently, from what we're understanding, successfully tested that nuclear-powered nuclear missile today. They did ahead of schedule, but it was a successful test. No way to detect it, people. This thing is a cruise missile with a nuclear-tipped missile run by nuclear power. It's got a 14,000-mile range. It can go anywhere in the world undetected. You won't know until it hits you. Lot of stuff going on as we speak. Okay? We've got subs on every corner of the United States sitting out there waiting for something. So they know something's coming. What do they know? We don't know. I'm sure it's this surprise attack that's getting ready to happen, because it will be a surprise attack, and it will be successful. And shortly after, the rapture will take place. And we're in that season that I saw. Now, is it this year? I will never be able to tell you that. Because like, oh, Chris is a date setter. No, I've never said a date, because I always tell you, I have no other clue. I'm just like everybody else. I'm trying to figure, sometimes I wish God wouldn't tell me some of these things, because it takes me 5 months to figure them out. Now, I'm going to give you an example. Today, I'm sitting around here with everything that's going on. I'm like, okay, hold on. And I remember in Passover, now I've talked about it here on the show, that I saw a 10 and 2 sevens. I saw them written in the Bible. Didn't know what they mean. Well, it just come to this is how slow I am. So if you're depending on me to give you a date, you're in trouble. It took me that many months to figure this out. That's why I said, maybe God needs to give us to somebody more intelligent, because it's not me. But today I figured out that is the eclipse that's going to happen in October. And never figured it out until today. That is when the eclipse happens. I saw the eclipse. I didn't even know about the eclipse at that time. Not a clue. But I saw the eclipse written in the Bible. A 10 and 2 sevens, which is 10-14. That's the day of the eclipse. And I'm like, whoa, what in the world? How did I not put that together until today? Guess it wasn't meant for me to do it until today. But, as I always say, better late than never. But with everything that's going on in the air, with all these bombers, all these Stratoforters, these nuclear B-52 bombers, and everything that's going on in Europe with everything in the air, this is not cooling down by any means. Russia's still putting out major threats. It's just a matter of time. Now, The thing that worries me the most, and I will throw it out there, I can't go into detail about it too much, they'll kick me off of here. I've already got a strike last week. But here we go. The only thing, and you got to realize you're hearing a lot of propaganda out there, and I mean a ton of it. It's just garbage, but it's propaganda. All they keep saying is, Ukraine needs 45 more days. They're going to starve. They're not going to make it. Now, we've sent them $150-some billion, okay? Lots of money. Don't know where it went. Have no clue. We've sent them tons of weapons. They've literally killed our stock of weapons. Okay? America has literally only 6 days of emergency fuel left. That's it. They have sucked our fuel completely dry. And that won't be our fuel if we get a surprise attack. That goes straight to the military. We can't touch it. That means you and me are walking. We're not raptured out of here. I'm serious. The media's not going to tell you this, but they have literally sucked every bit of our backup fuel. It's gone. Now, you can either say, are they stupid or are they doing it on purpose? It can only be two ways, people. Either they're very ignorant or it's being done on purpose. And I hate to say that, but there can only be two ways. They've washed and took away all the emergency fuel in America. America has 6 days left, and if we get a hit tomorrow, that goes to the military. You will not have gas. Media, talking about Taylor Swift and Kansas City. Or the movie stars are on strike. Or what about the football? What about this? People have no clue what's happening underneath their feet. But America has only 6 days left. Maybe not that now. That might be changed. Listen, and now the Bidens already came out. Well, that's maybe it's maybe about 4 weeks ago, and they actually cut off all their support, or not support, but they banned any more drilling upstarts, all the licenses and everything. So they do it to us here with the coal. Same thing. They cut off your contracts to where you can't go in and dig for more coal. Well, they're doing that to the oil and gas. But they keep promising Ukraine and all these people over there, we're going to keep giving you all of our gas, and we're not going to get. People, there's something ain't right. That's why I said the rapture is soon. Because there's really bad things happening that nobody knows about. Really bad. And if I wasn't looking for it, I wouldn't have known it. But I'm looking for it and I find it. But these people are cutting off all of our supplies, sending them to everybody else. I mean, it makes no sense unless this is systematically being devised from the inside out. For instance, the border. They're flooding in. They're shutting down. Almost every city that's become a sanctuary city is literally going bankrupt. America cannot pay for these. And I'm telling you this is true story. Mexico's planning on building a wall now to keep them in instead of them leaving. It's true story. Because they know America's getting ready to crash. Everybody knows it. Every country. Now listen to this very closely. Every country knows, all of our enemies know, that we're 1 day away from never recovering. Right now, one natural disaster in America, and it's gone. Seriously, it's gone. It's not coming back. We're teeter-totting on disaster in America, and these countries know that, and they're planning, and they're plotting. They know we have a very ignorant government that has no utter clue what they're doing. They know this. They're not going to let another one get in that does. This is their opportunity. That's why I'm telling you, look up. Because history always repeats itself. Always does. When you've seen all these things coming about. These are reprobate-minded people. God's handed them over to reprobate minds. You can't, if you saw these people, they tell you, you say, well, that's sheep is white. See a sheep and you'll say, well, it's white. They'd argue that it's black. That's just how these people are. We're talking about a time where people disrespect God. They want to be God. I've heard over and over everybody from World Economic Forum in the last 3 weeks saying that they are gods and that there is no Jesus. This is coming out of their mouths. Now, this has happened before. It happened in Noah's time. It happened in Lot's time. The evil that's running amok right now has happened before. And Jesus said, it will be like the days of Noah again. Well, we are there. Listen to me. We are 100,000% there. These people are coming out and saying they are God. This is all biblical. And they're all plotting against the people of the world. That's me and you, the little guys. And Jesus knows this. That's why he's getting ready to pull the church. He knows what they're planning and what they're getting ready to do. And so do I. I mean, I can see it coming a mile away. I mean, this stuff, it can't be, they just can't be this ignorant. This stuff is being set up for a world war. And we can look in the sky and tell what's happening. When you've got all these things and you've got your nuclear silos and your nuclear subs all on alert, we've already sent 3 of our stealth bombers out of the country. We're hiding them in other countries. We know we're going to get hit. Understand me. They're planning for it to be hit. Do you understand me? Think about it very clearly. When you see these things, they know what's coming. That's why I'm telling you the rapture is coming. Jesus is coming for the church and to get people on that ark. Because every day I'm seeing more and more disturbing things. I'm watching the patterns of what they're moving out of this country and moving around the world. All the forces, the nuclear forces, are on highest alert I've ever seen in my lifetime. They're not just moving them, they're moving them and hiding them all over the planet to keep them safe. Because they know what's coming. You don't, and you never will. Because our media is owned by them, and they control it. They're not going to tell you. What I always tell you is do not fear, Jesus is near. But this is coming. It's coming at 100 miles an hour at us. And the more I see, the more I learn every day. I'm like, oh wow, this is coming quick. It's coming quick. I'll be honest with you, I will be surprised if we're still here by next week. Because these people are going to blow each other up. They're not going to stop. They keep poking each other. They just will not stop. And I've come to realize the reason for that is that this is the end. See, before, somebody would have already flinched and went home. It's not happening now. So that means we are correct with the timing of the 6,000 years. That confirms it. The Revelation 12 sign that happened on the 18th and 19th, that covenant that was going on at the 18th, all these are warning signs. Now, either you can listen to Jesus and take the warnings and plan accordingly, or you just to be asleep. And I'm glad that we're not asleep. We're awake, and we're seeing these things. Because, brothers and sisters, I can sit here right now and tell you 100%, we're going home. And we're going home faster than what we thought. It's coming, and it's coming like a freight train. I don't see these things slowing down. These mega quakes are still happening. We've got volcanoes erupting like crazy. There was almost 12 of them erupting the other day. Almost 13. This is an everyday thing. You're not going to see it in the news. Nowhere to be found. They don't cover it. That's why people are so lost. There is no media. It's gone. If you don't dig for it, you're not going to find it. Lucifer has done his job. He really has. I had a theory 20-some years ago that when Lucifer was ready, he would cut off all media and you wouldn't see nothing. And boy, was I right. 100%. It's exactly what he did. He cut off all media, a newspaper, radio, all of it. He owns it all. And we figure, a lot of people had that idea many, many years ago that that's what he would do. He has done it successfully. He cut off all, and that's why everybody's so asleep. They have no clue what's coming for them. And thank God that Jesus gave us this avenue here of these great watchmen and watchwomen on YouTube and other platforms to dig for the information, to give you the information so at least you know. And even I'm like you. Months ago, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong because everybody else is completely asleep. These mega churches have no idea. Every time I talk to them, and I talk to these big pastors around here, the only thing they say, like Repo Man said today, don't know the day and the hour. Don't know the day and the hour. That's all they can spurt. And I'm like, but that's not what it means. And they're like, huh? I'm like, that's not what it means. And you try to explain it to them, then they get mad and they storm off. These churches don't want Jesus to come. They're making too much money. They're living the good life. They don't have no issues. I mean, but Jesus said this would be Laodicea. This is, if you lay the line out of the 7 churches, this is the 7th generation. This is going into the 7th, the last of the 2,000 years that Jesus has been gone, and he's coming back. And it talks about this church being the mega church, and that's exactly what it is. All about money, about being rich. And it makes Jesus want to puke. This is that church. All of it. If you lay it out in the 7,000 year time span, it all makes sense. It all comes together. Every bit of it. And like I said, you use Israel as your timepiece. The fig tree generation were in that point. See, a lot of people don't consider the Jews anything. The Jews have more hatred towards them, and a lot of the church hates the Jews. Lots of them. They can't stand the Jews. Since the church was informed, they've tried to literally shutter them out. And that's another thing Satan did, because he knows they're a timepiece too. I want to prove it to you. When they become a nation again in 1948, NASA was invented. Almost the evolution thing started coming in. All these things, Satan, right, because he knew he had limited time when they come back into the land. He knew. So then he started tearing. Now think about it. Go back in time. You'll start to see 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. You start to see the gospel fading. When I was a kid, honey, let me tell you something. We had church on the sidewalks. Christmas time, we was out there. What a great time. And I'm glad to say we're about to have that again in heaven. But you'll see it decay. Satan attacked the church. Then he attacked the school system, took God out of the schools. You see, it was a planned attack. So it's the Jews went back in the nation. Go ahead and check it out yourself. From 1948 on, you're going to see a lot of things that Satan, he went in, he divided the church, got God out of schools, he destroyed the kids. All this stuff. It all started then. I can see it. A lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of watchers don't talk about that. But if you go back in time to 1948, when Israel comes back in the land, Satan kicked it into overdrive. That's when he started deceiving and really turning the church against each other, taking God out of the Christian homes, trying to turn Christian homes different. And this is when all this stuff started coming. All this stuff. Just one thing after another. Over and over and over. Lots of bad things since 1948. Because Satan knew what was coming. Keep me in your prayers. We're going to keep monitoring all this stuff, but definitely keep your eyes on the sky. Because we are definitely getting ready to get out of here. I'm catching something. I don't feel well. Started being sick to my stomach today. And it's that time of year, pretty much, that every time the weather changes, it gets me. Hopefully that's what it is. And hopefully we just get raptured out of here and we don't have to deal with this junk anymore. I'm like you, brothers and sisters. If we're out of here tonight, I'll be so happy. I don't want to be here anymore. As much as you guys don't. We want to be out of here. And I'm with you. Another day here just makes me cringe. I don't want to be here anymore. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for the support for the channel. Share, subscribe, like this video. Like I said, get it to your friends. Tell everybody about the gospel. 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4. Trust in the blood of Jesus. And that's what you're going to tell everybody and set the seeds. If they won't listen to you, at least tell them about the gospel and tell them if they don't see you again, you've been raptured by Jesus, not by aliens. At least make sure that they know what happens. Because we're about to disappear. It's coming. And they're going to lie to these people and tell them that we got abducted or something. They will have a lie set aside. Satan will never allow them to tell everybody that Jesus come and got us. He's not going to allow that to happen. So we've got to lay that foundation so they know. Okay? Thank each and every one of you for bringing me into your family, into your homes. I will keep monitoring everything as I can. Like I said, keep Bonnie in your prayer. Keep us all in your prayer. I'll pray for you. You pray for me. If I don't see or hear from you again, I'll see you in heaven. Thank you once again for tuning in to Global Rapture Watchers, where we do daily updates here on YouTube, letting you know that we're one day closer to our Lord and Savior coming back. Thank you for all the support for this channel. This channel was created for God's sheep, those that are waiting for their Lord and Savior to come back and get us in these last days. We do updates once to 2 times a day here on YouTube. Thank you for all your support for the channel. God bless each and every one of you.